I'll talk about the important characteristic features of Nemathelminthes. Nemathelminthes or Nematoda, the term was coined by Gujenberg. All Nemathelminthes, along with about 6 to 7 phyla, are placed under superphylum Aschelminthes. All pseudocoelomate phyla are placed under Aschelminthes. And the term Aschelminthes was coined by Groben. Now, what are the unique characteristics of the Nemathelminthes? Nemathelminthes, the cuticle is collagenous. And it undergoes molting. All the Nemathelminthes, they undergo preferably 4 molds. 4 times they shed off the outer cuticle to transform into adult during development. Now the Nemathelminthes, well-developed gut, complete gut is noticed for the first time. Because in Platyhelminthes, gut is without anus, whereas a complete gut is noticed for the first time in Nemathelminthes. And all Nemathelminthes are pseudocoelomates. With leftover or persistent blastocele. Excretion in them takes place by rennet cells and H-shaped excretory organs. Excretion takes place by rennet cells and H-shaped excretory canals. And they exhibit a unique phenomena called eutely. All Nemathelminthes exhibit a unique phenomena called eutely, where the number of the cells remains constant till they attain adulthood. Number of the cells in each organ of a particular species remains constant till they attain adulthood, except the gonads. Then they all are unisexual with a distinct sexual dimorphism. All are unisexual with a distinct sexual dimorphism. Then they've got, it is divided into, the phylum Nemathelminthes is divided into 2 classes. Aphasmedia and Phasmedia. In Aphasmedia, phasmids are absent. Phasmids which are chemoolfactory function, they are entirely absent. The amphids, Aphasmedia, phasmids are absent but amphids are present. In Phasmedia, both phasmids and amphids, both of them are well developed. So in Phasmedia, phasmids are glandulosensory in function. They are towards the posterior region, they are present near the tail here now. Amphids are chemoreceptors. They are on the lips, both of them are well developed, whereas in Aphasmedia, phasmids are absent. Okay, even excretory canals are also absent. Then examples for Aphasmedia are Trichurus trichura, which is commonly called whipworm, Trichinella spiralis, which is commonly called garbage worm. Then you have another example, Anticoma and Inoplus. They are all examples for Aphasmedia. Trichurus trichura, commonly called whipworm. Trichinella spiralis, commonly called garbage worm. Anticoma and Inoplus, all of them belong to Aphasmedia. Then the rest of the nematodes are placed under Phasmedia. Now we shall talk about certain life cycle, important characteristic features of life cycle of certain phasmids. Ascaris lumbricoides happens to be the largest nematode. Largest nematode parasite, okay, with a distinct sexual dimorphism. Males are short and slender. whereas females are long and stout with a tapered tail. Females are long, stout with a tapered tail. Females are males are slender and short with a curved tail. Both male and female towards the anterior end, they've got a mouth here now. Mouth is followed by excretory pore. 2 to 3 millimeters away from the mouth, excretory pore is present. Then in male, in the tail region, they've got an aperture called cloaca. Cloaca encloses a pair of equal copulatory spicules or pineal spicules. Then in female, at 1/3 distance from the anterior end, vulva or female genital pore is present. Both female towards the posterior end has got anus. It has got anus, Then on the body here now, both male and female have epidermal cards like this. Certain streaks are present on the body. These streaks are called epidermal lines. Epidermal streaks. These epidermal streaks or epidermal lines are formed due to thickening of epidermis at certain places. Now, Ascaris lives in the small intestine of man and it is a monogenetic parasite. It is a monogenetic parasite, and it is without gubernaculum. The cloaca is without gubernaculum. Cloaca is without gubernaculum. Then in both male and female, mouth is guarded by 3 lips. There is a mid-dorsal lip and there are 2 ventrolateral lips. So mouth is guarded by 3 lips here now. This is the mid-dorsal lip and these are ventrolateral lips. Then on the mid-dorsal lip there is a double papilla and each ventrolateral lip there is a single papilla and an amphid. Single papilla, amphid. Towards the posterior end there is a double papilla. So there is a single papilla. The single papilla happens to be labial papilla and this is an amphid. And in each double papilla there is a labial papilla and there is a cephalic papilla. And there are 6 labial papillae and 4 cephalic papillae are present. 6 labial papillae, 2 plus 4, 6. 6 labial papillae and 4 cephalic papillae are present here now. All these labial and cephalic papillae are tactile in function, whereas amphids are chemoreceptors. The innermost margin of the lips is denticulated. Innermost margin of the lips is denticulated for rasping the food, for masticating the partially digested food. Then in males the tail if you observe, it has got a cloaca and before cloaca there are 50 pairs of preanal papillae are present. 50 pairs of preanal papillae are present and behind cloaca there are 2 pairs of double papillae and 3 pairs of single papillae. So these are called postanal papillae. So 5 pairs of postanal papillae, 50 pairs of preanal papillae are present in the tail of male. All these papillae help in clasping the female at the time of copulation. And Ascaris, male is monarchic with a single testis, female is didelphic with a pair of ovaries. Female is didelphic with a pair of ovaries. And the gonads are telogonic. Unlike other vertebrates where the gonads are hologonic, whereas in Ascaris gonads are telogonic, where only the tip gives rise to gametes, attains maturity and gives rise to gametes. The sperms are amoeboid. Sperms are amoeboid. The zygote undergoes spiral determinate unequal holoblastic cleavage, and the zygote is surrounded by innermost lipoidal layer, and there is a thick middle chitinous layer and outermost mammillated layer. So this outermost mammillated layer, mammillated proteinous layer, there is a middle chitinous layer and innermost lipoidal layer. So female lays about 27 millions of zygotes in entire lifespan at the rate of 2 lakh per day. The eggs come out of the female along with the feces. Then while they are in the soil, they undergo spiral determinate cleavage to form the first stage larva, that is rhabditiform. Rhabditiform larva is formed within the eggshell. The first stage rhabditiform larva, while it is in the eggshell, undergoes first molting to form second stage rhabditiform larva. The zygote with second stage rhabditiform larva is infective to man. The mode of infection is through contamination. Cockroaches and houseflies act as carriers. The zygote with second stage rhabditiform larva, upon entering the intestine, undergoes excistation to liberate the naked second stage rhabditiform larva. The naked second stage rhabditiform larva, it pursues an extraintestinal migration. It penetrates to the intestinal wall to reach hepatic portal veins. Through hepatic portal veins, it reaches liver, and from liver, through hepatic veins and postcaval vein, it reaches heart. From heart, it enters lungs through pulmonary artery. It ruptures the pulmonary capillaries and enters alveoli. While it is in the alveoli, it undergoes second and third molt to form the fourth stage larva. Second stage larva in the alveoli undergoes second molting to form third stage. The third stage undergoes third molt to form fourth stage larva. Fourth stage larva ascends the respiratory tract to reach the pharynx. From pharynx, once again, it reaches its abode, that is small intestine, through esophagus, stomach and duodenum. On entering the intestine, it undergoes the final molt to form young one. So remember, the first molting takes place while it is within the eggshell. Second and third molts occur in the alveoli. Fourth molting takes place in the intestine to form young one. This young one within 2 to 2.5 months transforms into adult. The adult life cycle is lifespan is hardly for 1 year. Then the adults grow bigger. They feed on partially digested food voraciously, and once again they transform into adults to perpetuate the life cycle. The larvae cause lung pneumonia, which is also called Loeffler syndrome. The pneumonia caused by the larvae, rhabditiform larvae of Ascaris, called Loeffler syndrome While the adults cause ascariasis. Ascariasis is mostly because of certain toxins released by the adult called ascarin and ascarase. Ascariasis is characterized by various gastrointestinal disorders. Chenopodium oil happens to be the most effective drug, acts as a deworming drug against ascaris and all the other intestinal helminthic worms. Life cycle of filarial worm, that is Eukaryaria bancrofti. It belongs to class Nematoda. Then the order or the family Filariidae. It lives in the lymph glands and lymph vessels of forelimb, hind limb, scrotum and breast of human being. It is a digenetic parasite. Primary host is human being and secondary host is female culex. The adult parasites were discovered by Lady and Bancroft. Wucherer found the larvae in chylous urine. Ukkerer found the larvae in chylus urine. Demarque found them in blood and hydrophilic fluid. So adults were discovered by Bancroft and Leddy. The larvae were noticed in chylus urine by Ukkerer. The larvae in blood and hydrophilic fluid were noticed by Demarque. It is an intercellular parasite here now, with primary host human being and secondary host culex here now. It also exhibits sexual dimorphism, where males are short and females are long. Males have a curved tail, females have a tapered tail. But unlike Ascaris, Wuchereria has got a pair of unequal copulatory spicules. In Ascaris, copulatory spicules are equal, whereas Wuchereria, copulatory spicules are unequal. And in Wuchereria, the preanal, postanal papillae are absent. In Wuchereria, mouth is without lips. Ascaris, as you learnt a while ago, mouth is guarded by 3 lips, whereas in Wuchereria, mouth is without lips here now. Then Wuchereria, male, like Ascaris, is without gubernaculum. Unlike Ascaris, where the female is oviparous, in Wuchereria, female is ovoviviparous. The ovoviviparous female gives birth to young ones called microfilaria. These microfilaria embryos are covered by loosely arranged sheath called cuticula or hyaline sheath here now, and they exhibit several prospective structures within their cytoplasm. Like they have got a syncytial cytoplasm, then 4 germ cells are present, then it has got cephalic space, the anterior cephalic space, a nerve net, rennet cells. There are several prospective structures are present in the syncytial cytoplasm of microfilaria. The microfilaria, while it is in the blood vessels of man, it exhibits a unique phenomena called nocturnal periodicity to coincide with the nocturnal feeding habits of the mosquito. However, the nocturnal periodicity was contradicted by Thurston and Hawking. Then this, when the person is bitten by the mosquito, along with the blood, the microfilaria embryos enter into the midgut of the culex mosquito. On entering the midgut, the microfilaria loses its outer sheath to become the naked microfilaria. The naked microfilaria penetrates to the gut wall of the female culex mosquito to reach the thoracic muscles. On entering the thoracic muscles, the microfilaria transforms into the first stage larva, that is sausage-shaped larva. The first stage sausage-shaped larva within the thoracic muscles of the female culex undergoes 2 moltings to form the third stage. The third stage from thoracic muscles reaches the salivary glands of the female culex now, waits for an opportunity to enter man. So third stage larva is infective to man. So when a person is bitten by an infested mosquito, the third stage finds its way into the blood vessels of man. From blood vessels, it reaches its abode, that is lymph glands and lymph vessels. Then upon entering the lymph glands and lymph vessels, it undergoes another 2 molts to complete the life cycle. So life cycle, it undergoes 2 molts in the mosquito and the remaining 2 molts in the human being to complete the life cycle. Then the larvae and adults, both of them cause filariasis or elephantiasis, which is characterized by certain symptoms. The larvae and adults, either in dead condition or living condition, they cause swelling of lymph nodes and lymph glands, which is called lymphedema. Swelling of lymph nodes and lymph glands, which is called lymphedema, and they cause inflammation of lymph glands called lymphadentis. And they cause inflammation of lymph vessels called lymphangitis. Inflammation of lymph glands is called lymphadentis. Inflammation of lymph vessels is called lymphangitis. The inflammation leads to the varicosity of the lymph vessels and lymph glands here now. As a result of the varicosity, they rupture. It is called lympharage. Rupture of lymph vessels to release lymph into the intercellular spaces is called lympharage. When the lymph is released into surrounding tissues now, it promotes hypertrophy and hyperplasia. As a result of hypertrophy and hyperplasia, there is inflammation here which is called there will be release of inflammation, that is, I repeat once again this point here now. Inflammation of lymph vessels is called lymphangitis. As a result of inflammation here now, the lymph glands and the lymph vessels become thin. The thin and fragile lymph vessels and lymph glands now, they get ruptured, and thereby they discharge lymph into interstellar spaces. Discharge of lymph into interstellar spaces is called lympharage, and the lympharage causes a kind of allergic reaction in the lymph glands which is called occult filariasis. Lymph that is released into intercellular spaces causes allergy, or you can call it hypersensitivity. That hypersensitivity caused because of the released lymph into the intercellular spaces is called occult filariasis. So all these symptoms can be put together called filariasis. As a result of occult filariasis and hypertrophy and hyperplasia, the infected organ swells up and becomes voluminous now. All put together referred to as filariasis, which can be cured easily by medication, at the same time by surgery here now. Now, the important characters of Enterobius vermicularis I shall put before you. Enterobius vermicularis is commonly called pinworm or threadworm or seatworm. It is the smallest nematode. It lives in cecum, vermiform appendix of large intestine. It is a monogenetic parasite. It is also called Oxyurus vermicularis. Oxyurus vermicularis. Now males, as you find in other nematodes, males are short and slender with a curved tail, and females are long and stout with a tapered tail. Both male and females at the anterior end are provided with certain lateral expansions which are called cephalic alae. Both male and female, in the tail region they have got caudal alae. So at the anterior end there are certain lateral expansions called cephalic alae, and posterior end the tail is provided with, in male alone, the tail is provided with lateral expansions called caudal alae. And the tail region has got a cloaca. Cloaca is with a single copulatory spicule. So both male and female have cephalic alae at the anterior end, which are also called alar lobes. Male exclusively, in the tail region it has got caudal alae, and the cloaca lodges a single copulatory spicule without gubernaculum. Then the female has got a tapered tail with a caudal spine. And there is a vulva as you find in other nematodes. So here the males are short, slender with a curved tail. Both male and female at the anterior end they have cephalic alae or alar lobes. Male exclusively towards the posterior end has a pair of caudal alae, which are meant for clasping the female at the time of copulation. The cloaca lodges a single copulatory spicule. Female, the tail is tapered with a caudal spine. Then the female, soon after copulation, lays embryonated eggs here now. Before laying eggs, it goes to the perianal region here now. It lays showers of eggs in the perianal region. While laying eggs, it causes severe itching in the perianal region. As a result, when the children scratch the perianal region here now, eggs stick to their fingers and nails here now. When the children put contaminated fingers in the mouth, they get infected. That's why the method of infection is called auto-infection or digital infection here now. The eggs here now, before they could enter human being, they already contain the second stage tadpole-like larva. The larva, the eggs upon entering the intestine here now, they hatch into the larvae. Second, that is third stage larva is released here now. This larva completes another 2 molds to complete the life cycle. That is, before hatching, 2 molds take place within the eggshell here now. After hatching, another 2 molds occur to complete the life cycle. Life cycle is very short here now. Lifespan of the parasite is also very short. It causes diarrhea, dysentery, then bedwetting, teeth grinding, nose pricking, vaginitis in case of women. Okay, all these symptoms are now subside by themselves even without taking any medication also. Okay, but it is the most infectious parasite here now, spreads quickly from one person to another person through contamination here now. Then next you have another nematode parasite, that is Ankylostoma duodenale. This is commonly called hookworm or world hookworm. World hookworm. It lives in small intestine of human being, duodenum and jejunum of human being here now. There is another parasite which is akin to Ankylostoma, that is Necator americanum. This Necator americanum is commonly called New World hookworm or American murderer. Like other nematodes, it is also unisexual with a distinct sexual dimorphism here now. The male and female, males have a curved tail and females have a tapered tail. Male has got a pair of equal copulatory spicules here now. Then both male and female, at the anterior end, mouth opens into buccal capsule. Mouth opens into buccal capsule. In the male, the tail is provided with an umbrella-like expansion called, which is supported by bursal ridge, which is called copulatory bursa. Male here now, the tail is provided with an umbrella-like expansion called copulatory bursa. Female does not have any such a modification here now. Then both male and female here now, at the anterior end, they are with mouth here now. Mouth is guarded by, mouth opens into a structure called buccal capsule here now. Okay. It is commonly called hookworm because of slightly curved part of the body here now. Hookworm doesn't mean that it has got hooks here now. It has a slightly curved body, that's why it is referred to as hookworm here now. Then soon after fertilization, female lays eggs here now. These eggs come out along with the fecal matter. Eggs hatch into the first stage larva, that is called strongyliform larva. The larva in the soil undergoes 2 molds to form the third stage. While it is in the soil itself, it undergoes 2 molds to form the third stage. The third stage larva, filariform larva or strongyliform larva, is infected to man. Human being gets infected when he walks in contaminated areas with bare foot. The third stage larva sticks to the ankle region or the shank part with the help of its esophageal bulb, and with the help of piercing styles, it pierces to the skin to reach the peripheral blood vessels. From peripheral blood vessels, it reaches heart, from heart to once again lungs, and lungs to the intestine. Then upon entering the intestine, the larva undergoes 2 molds to complete the life cycle. So 2 molds occur while the larvae are in the soil, and 1 molting takes place in the lungs, and the 4th molting takes place in the intestine here now. 1 molting takes place in the lungs and 4th molting takes place in the intestine to complete the life cycle here now. Then the larvae, while penetrating through skin, they cause ground itch. The third stage larvae, while penetrating through skin, they cause ground itch. Then while migrating to the peripheral blood vessels now, they cause creeping eruptions. While migrating to peripheral blood vessels, they cause creeping eruptions. Then in intestine, they cause anemia. While they are in intestine, they feed on the blood and thereby they cause anemia. So ground itch, creeping eruptions and anemia are the characteristic symptoms of ankylostomiasis caused by Ankylostoma duodenale, which is commonly called old world hookworm, old world hookworm of human being. Dracunculus medinensis is another parasite. It is the longest nematode. It is a viviparous nematode here now. Male is with a pair of equal copulatory spicules. And with gubernaculum. With the gubernaculum. The primary host is human being and secondary host is Cyclops. Cyclops is the secondary host here now. It lives in subcutaneous tissue of ankle and the shank region or ankle region, and thereby it causes infection called urticaria. It causes skin infection called urticaria and blister formation in the ankle region, which goes on oozing out the embryos. And it is the longest nematode, commonly called guinea worm or fire serpent worm. Guinea worm or fire serpent worm. Lova lova is another nematode parasite. This is commonly called African eyeworm. African eyeworm here now, and its secondary host is Chrysops, which is commonly called mango fly. This is secondary host. Primary host is human being. Secondary host is Chrysops mango fly. Lova lova is also a viviparous nematode. It causes Calabar swellings. It causes Calabar swellings and conjunctivitis. It causes Calabar swellings and conjunctivitis.